Never seen the like of it before anywhere. I mean, the idea that, UKIP is somehow some horrible, nasty, anti-immigrant, racist party is not something that has permeated the rest of the country, but of course that wasn't what it was really all about. It was a demonstration dressed up as being anti-racism, but in fact in itself was deeply racist, with a total hatred of the English and a desire for Scotland to be independent from Westminster. I mean, my goodness me, if this is the face of Scottish nationalism, it's a pretty ugly picture.
This is a hugely objectionable point you're making, isn't it? Suggesting that anti-English racism is somehow conflated with the campaign for a yes vote in the forthcoming independence referendum.
Oh, no. I mean, please believe me, the anger, the hatred, the snarling, the shouting, the swearing was all linked in to a desire for the Union Jack to be burnt and extinguished from Scotland forever. There's absolutely no doubt who these people were or what they stood for.
But Mr Farage, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you are confusing two quite separate things. Anti-English prejudice, which we may or may not have seen on the Royal Mile yesterday, and I'll ask you about that in a moment, and the perfectly legitimate political debate which is underway here in Scotland, and the campaign for a yes vote in the independence referendum.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think that is the way that normal, legitimate political debate takes place. Normally, you at least do the courtesy of listening to somebody else, and I must say, I have heard before that there are some parts of Scottish nationalism that are akin to fascism, but yesterday I saw it face to face.
Looking at the television pictures, listening to the television feed again this morning, when you put it to the crowd, or you said in an interview on the pavement in the Royal Mile that the crowd were being anti-English, they denied that. They reacted very strongly against that.
Either the Scottish media are going to start reporting the truth about some of the extremes of the independence movement here or not. But it is about time they did.
OK. Let's leave the demonstration to one side, because I want to put it to you that it was, in fact, a rather convenient distraction from the political reality for UKIP in Scotland, which is rather gloomy, isn't it? After all, the latest Ipsos Mori opinion poll, published in early May, found just 2 Scots out of 1,001 would vote for UKIP. You're a political irrelevance, aren't you?
Yeah, good old Ipsos Mori, brilliant. Conducting a political opinion poll without actually including UKIP from a list of runners and riders. 18 months ago, I used to get this sort of sneering comment in England, and we've soared in England, and there is now a big gap in the political market in Scotland. The SNP's idea of independence within Europe has now been exposed by Mr Barroso from the European Commission, making clear that an independent Scotland from the UK would have to reapply to join the Union and join the Euro. The debate on Europe is now on in Scotland.
There's a problem for you, though, isn't there? Because the Scottish electorate clearly doesn't see you as being part of the political debate in Scotland. In effect, what the overwhelming message from yesterday's event in Edinburgh seemed to be was that your political philosophy is an alien political philosophy here in Scotland.
The fact that 50 yobbo fascist scum turn up and are prepared to listen to debate, I absolutely refuse to believe is representative of Scottish public opinion. It is not in any way at all.
Do you represent mainstream Scottish public opinion?
Well, come and ask the Scottish born and bred and working members of UKIP in Scotland, and I think they very much do. They don't represent a professional political elite based in Edinburgh who have basically sold out any realistic ideas of independence to the European Union. They represent real people here in Scotland.
Looking at the Times this morning, you're quoted as saying, turning up in Scotland, telling everyone how much you love Scotland and what a big part of your life it's been.
Rubbish. I've never said a single thing like that.
Well, let me just finish putting the quote to you. Telling everyone how much I love Scotland and what a big part of my life it's been, how sincere I am, it would all have been a lot of rubbish, wouldn't it? And isn't that the problem? UKIP isn't part of Scottish political debate in any meaningful way, and you know very little of Scotland or the politics of Scotland.
I'm sensing similar hatred from this line of questioning that I got on the streets yesterday in Edinburgh. We are the only UK-wide political party. We're the only party with representation in Stormont. We have representation from Wales in the European Parliament. We clearly have become quite strong in England, and we intend to start mounting serious campaigns in Scotland. No other party in UK politics even attempts to do all of those things.
And remind me how many elected representatives you have in Scotland?
Absolutely none, but rather more than the BBC do. And, you know, we could have had this interview in England a couple of years, although I wouldn't have met with such hatred as I'm getting from your questions, and frankly, I've had enough of this interview. Goodbye.